It started with the hum. Not the kind you'd expect from an old TV or a busted radio, but a low throbbing sound that seemed to come from beneath the floorboards of my apartment. I'd lived in that cramped third-floor unit for 2 years. Cheap rent, peeling paint, the usual city dive. And I never heard anything like it before. At first, I chalked it up to plumbing, maybe a neighbor's late-night tinkering, but it never stopped. Every night, around 2 a.m., the hum would start. Soft at first, like a distant engine, but then louder, vibrating through the wood until I could feel it in my teeth. I'd lie there, staring at the ceiling, waiting for it to fade, and it always did by dawn. I complained to the landlord, a greasy guy named Carl who smelled like stale cigarettes. He shrugged and said the building was old and told me to buy earplugs. I did. They didn't help. One night, I couldn't take it anymore. The hum was louder than ever, a pulsing drone that made my skull ache. I grabbed a flashlight and started searching. I tapped the walls and pressed my ear to the floor, trying to pinpoint it. That's when I noticed the loose board under my bed. It was subtle, just like a hairline crack, but when I pried it with a screwdriver, the hum exploded into something else. Static, not just noise, but voices, faint and garbled, overlapping, like a dozen radio stations bleeding into one. I froze for a moment, kneeling there in the dark, the flashlight trembling in my hand. The hole beneath the board wasn't deep, just a shallow crawl space, maybe a foot high, but it stretched out under the floor, disappearing into the dark. The static poured in, sharp and alive. I should have called someone. I should have moved out, but instead, I leaned closer, and I heard my name. Elliot, it whispered, clear as a bell amid the chaos. My heart skipped a beat. No one else was in the apartment. I lived alone. I slammed the board back down and shoved my bed over it, telling myself it was a trick of my mind or sleep deprivation. Anything but what I had heard. The next night, it wasn't just my name. The static returned, louder, and the voices sharpened. Elliot, come down, they said, over and over. A chorus of whispers clawing at the edges of my sanity. I didn't touch the board again, but I didn't need to. The sound wasn't coming from below anymore. It was everywhere, in the walls, the ceiling, the air itself. I stopped sleeping. I stopped eating. I just sat there and listened, trying to make sense of it. On the 5th night, I broke. I tore the board up again, flashlight in one hand, phone in the other, recording everything. The crawl space was the same, dark, narrow, normal. But the static was deafening now. It was a wall of sound that swallowed me. I crawled in. I don't know why, but I had to know. The space stretched further than it should have. My apartment was small, maybe 600 square feet, but I kept going. 10 feet, 20, 30, until the flashlight caught something ahead. A shape. It was hunched, humanoid, its back to me. Skinny limbs, too long, too thin, like a spider folded into a man. Its head twitched, and the static spiked, drowning out my scream. Elliot, it said, not from its mouth, if it even had one, but from the air around me. It turned slowly and I saw its face. It wasn't a face. It was a screen, like an old CRT monitor glowing faintly with snow and static. My reflection stared back, distorted, flickering. my eyes wide and black. The thing reached for me, its fingers crackling with electricity, and I scrambled back, dropping my phone. I don't remember climbing out. I don't remember running. But I was outside, barefoot in the street, when I realized the hum was gone. I never went back. The landlord kept my deposit, said I'd trashed the place. I didn't care. I stayed with a friend, trying to forget. But a week later, he found my phone in the mail. No note, no return address, just the phone, scratched and cold. I didn't want to look at the video, but I had to. I pressed play. The footage was shaky. Me crawling, the flashlight beam bouncing off the walls. Then the shape. The screen face. It turned and my reflection filled the frame, just like I remembered. But as I watched, the reflection moved. It smiled, slow, wide, and deliberate. While I screamed on the audio, the video cut to black, then static, and my voice whispering, "Come down." I smashed the phone. I moved again, different city, different life. But last night, I heard it, faint, under the new floorboards. The hum. It found me, and this time, I don't know if I can run.